Well, time for a little suspension upgrade on the RV. Got a 2008 Winnebago Outlook 30-foot Class C RV, and we're gonna do a little suspension work today. I've got the Supersteer Trac bar that we're gonna install. We've got the Hellwig sway bar. This is all for the rear, by the way, and then some Bilstein shocks that we're gonna do, and hopefully do all of these today. Now, Supersteer does make a sway bar, but it was significantly more expensive than the Hellwig. They're the same diameter, so I just went with the Hellwig, and then Bilstein shocks. These are the heavy-duty ones recommended to help with control of the rear. Now, why would you do these suspension upgrades? Well, typically your Ford E450 chassis, the stock suspension products do not do a great job of giving you good control. If you're driving your Class C, you feel like you're getting blown all over the place. You feel like that rear really wants to sway and waggle. In theory, all three of these are really going to help with that. The Trac bar is going to help with that tracking of the rear and try to keep you moving straight. And if you buy from Supersteer, of course, they share the gospel with you, the Romans road. So maybe good idea to purchase from them. Now, I'm not going to do a full how-to on all these, but I will describe the installation process, let you know if we run into any issues, and then we'll do a road test and see if it makes a huge difference. Now, one of the things I've already done is I did the steering stabilizer on the front end. You can take a look at that. If you're having control issues, especially if you feel like your steering wheel is all over the place, you can see it right there. That's that red thing. That was a pretty easy DIY, about an hour's worth of install work, and that made a huge difference, keeping me from feeling like I was white-knuckling as I'm going down the road. But I still feel like, especially when semis pass me, the wind is blowing me all over the place in the rear, and so hopefully these three upgrades will make a huge difference. All right, so let's talk about why you may want to install all three of these at the same time. One, you're working in the same area. If you're going to install the Trac bar, then you actually have to pull your sway bar off anyway, at least on my 2008 E450. You can check for your specific model. In my case, I had to pull that old sway bar off because the Trac bar mounts on those same mounting points as the sway bar. And the reason you're gonna need a friend while you're doing this is the sway bar in particular is really heavy. It's really heavy and it's hard to hold up in place while you are connecting the bolts. So if you've got another friend, I mean, half the time I spent when we were connecting the sway bar, I was just holding it in place, and my friend was connecting everything tightly in place. And you have a lot of scenarios where you really need 3 hands instead of just 2. Now, I would say if your shocks are looking okay and they're not too old, maybe you hold off on that. But I think if you're gonna do that Trac bar, go ahead and do that sway bar while you're at it. I think the results are really worth it. All right, crawled up under here, and here's the original sway bar. You can notice the diameter of this bar is far thinner than the new Hellwig sway bar. Here's my old shock, which does not look so good. So that's probably original. And then the Trac bar is gonna mount actually on the other side where that sway bar goes, and then up in this free space and connect up to the frame. And that should really help that side-to-side sway and that motion you feel from wind blowing you all over the place. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Sprayed everything with PB Blaster to get these old fittings hopefully to easily break loose. Maybe I should say more easily break loose. All right, everything has been installed. Gonna crawl up under there. I'll give you a look at how everything went. Already did our test drive, really good results. So let's go ahead, we'll crawl up under there. Now, if you got some cardboard, gotta recommend that. Makes this a lot easier. So here's the back side of that Trac bar and the sway bar. So you can see what those connections look like on this side, and then we'll go ahead and crawl. Let me go ahead and crawl around on the other side, give you a better look. All right, here's our sway bar. Here's my new Bilstein shock, and then that Trac bar tucked up under there. Let me get over there a little bit closer for you. Okay, so you can see the Trac bar mounted up on the frame. Then it comes under, goes up, connects back over here. Now, a few thoughts about this install. Nothing was complicated, but nothing was easy. Everywhere that you work under here, you have very little room to operate. Now, while the install is not complicated, it is difficult. You've got very little room to work. You're gonna need some extensions as you work around all these parts. And the other thing is, unless you have a lift for 2 of your parts, that being your Trac bar and your shocks, the weight of the RV does need to be down on the wheels. So what does that mean? Like, for example, right now I've got it jacked up on my leveling jacks, so we're up probably 6 inches more than we were when we were installing these shocks and then the track bar. The weight of your RV has to be down on your wheels, which means if you have a lift, then you'll have room to operate. If not, you're basically sliding under here with very little room to work, and you're having to get all these components installed. A couple other thoughts about the install. The good news is for your shock and for your sway bar, the install is simply take them off, put the new one on. Now, if you do the track bar, which you can't really see great from this angle, it's attached over there. If you do the track bar, that's going to be unique because you probably don't have a track bar on currently, or I don't know why you would put a new one on, but that's the only one that's going to take a little bit of work. Let's see if we can get up under here and see it. So there's my track bar mounted up there and then connected to the points where the sway bar mounts over there. So it's connected under there and then goes straight across back there. So for the install, for the other two, it's a simple takeoff, put on. This guy's heavy, so the sway bar's heavy. It's hard to hold it up and install it by yourself. I really think you're gonna need a buddy. I think you could do the shocks by yourself. Track bar, also the same. I think that one's tough. Fuel line is over by that track bar, and so you don't want to have your RV jacked up, install it, put it down, and it comes down right on that, I'm sorry, it's not the fuel line. The brake line is right over by that track bar. So you got to make sure that when you're installing it, there's space. They do give you a cover for your brake line, a plastic cover that you can put on that to make sure it's not going to rub and cause any problems. But that's what we're looking at. Install, not complicated, but definitely not easy. Very little room to work under here. We had some difficulty getting our Bilstein shock to mount into this bracket right here. Most likely at some point this got bonked. It doesn't have great clearance off the ground, so it probably hit a speed bump or something. It was a little bent, so that was a bear to get on. And then the rest of these, you're just going to need socket extensions. And the thing that you really need is you need a friend. You need a friend who will come under here with you for 5.5 hours, like my friend. Shout out to Ben, who is about my size, but he's country strong, and he actually knows what he's doing. So that was super helpful. He was under here helping me. A lot of times you're going to need a couple sets of hands. You've got one person holding one thing, another person tightening on another bolt. You've got some pretty big bolts that you've got to work with. Some of them, let's look at this guy up here. Oh, so look at that guy. I mean, at one point we had somebody outside the RV sticking their hand in to try to get to that bolt, which then connects up over here. So it's a tight quarters. It definitely can be done. Took us about 5.5 hours to do all 3 of these. All right, so now the question is, how does it drive? How does it drive now that we've changed the shocks, we've changed the sway bar, and then added that track bar? Well, it is a night and day difference, I gotta tell you. It feels like the back end of the vehicle now wants to track straight. That's the whole purpose now. I'm not feeling the big sway as the body of the RV goes back and forth, and so it's making a world of difference. Now, this is not cheap. I was somewhere around $1,100 to get all 3 of these upgrades. Installing myself certainly did save a lot of money. So if you can grab a friend, now I'm going to link to the 3 components that I installed and make a list of everything you're going to need. You need to get some PB Blaster spray on all those old components. You need to get some extensions. You need to get a torque wrench so that you can set each bolt to the appropriate torque. And then you're going to need a friend like Ben, who will help you for 5.5 hours and crawl around under there. So let me know what questions that you have, if you've done the shocks or if you've done the sway bar or anything like that. Now I'm thinking I could put the sway bar on the front. That's the last suspension upgrade for me. If I do the stabilizer on the front, I've already got Sumo springs on the front. I did that steering stabilizer, which made a huge difference. So hey, happy RVing. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more RV fun. We're going to take the RV on a trip next week. We're actually going to try flat towing for our first time. So we'll see how that goes.